So far, really no injuries on our side. The big question mark, of course, is if DJ was to go down. And I think for anybody who's kind of just a drive-by college football fan, you know the top teams: Bama, Clemson, Ohio State. I think the whole Oklahoma high ratings that I see, I think that's to sell magazines or something, because we all know what's going to happen to Oklahoma. They're going to get punched in the face like they normally do in the college football playoff if they make it there, because they still haven't figured out you got to have a defense to contend. With that said, and I'll leave my Oklahoma rant there. I know that a lot of people sees that Trevor's gone. I think Jason would probably agree with me. I've never been more comfortable in my entire life handing the keys of the car to a first timer as probably as Clemson is right now with DJ. DJ's brilliant. He's smart. He is hardworking. He's got all the intangibles. He's got the things that you just can't teach. So I think on a Clemson football side, we're very happy about that. Problem is, if DJ were to go down, what happens? Now, Tyson Fomachaw, I know that he got hurt. I know he's getting better and so on, but not trying to be a jerk here. I wasn't impressed with Fomachaw. I think he would definitely be better than our backups that we have right now, but not much. If I was Georgia, I'd pin my ears back. I would come after him with the kitchen. I mean, heck, I'd pick up Kirby Smart and throw him at him. I mean, I'd be coming after him with everything that he's got. And I think he wouldn't do that well. Of course, we lost ETN, but anybody who's paying attention to us knows that Lynn J. Dixon has sat in the shadows of one of the greatest running backs to ever play, not only in the ACC, I think in college football. And Lynn J. Dixon is amazing. We have a full running back stable. Georgia's always historically been a fantastic running back stable. But I'm seeing more and more good news come out about the offensive line. That's really big for us. And you know me, I have beat this dead horse till I don't want to even hear about it anymore. I just want to see our safety play step up. I believe let me tell you the names for anybody who's kind of familiar with our team, who's on our defensive line. Defensive line. We have Miles Murphy, all-world freshman, Brian Bresee, Tyler Davis, Justin Foster. Glad Justin Foster came back. This guy was going to leave football. He came back. I'm so happy for that kid. Xavier Thomas. I could keep going. Another guy that I can't pronounce his name, Rook. I'll leave it at that. Justin Maskell, KJ Henry, Darnell Jeffries. We have a lot of talent at that line position. We can just keep sending these guys in and out. And Jason, you've been a Clemson fan and an expert for many, many years. I want you to think about this. If Darnell Jeffries was playing for us 15 years ago, this guy would be one of the top players on the team. He's just got that ability and that talent. We've got a lot of good things going on at the linebacker position. But for me, I'm not worried about our corners. I am concerned about our safety play. I want to see how our offensive line responds. But there was something that Skalski said this week in an interview with one of the publications. And I understand football talk. I understand football lingo. But for me, even for this, I even kind of threw up in my mouth for half a second when I read it. We're talking about the Ohio State game. That was the last big stage we were on. It was the last game we played. We come out of that, and we come into this massive game with Georgia. And it should be a massive game. I'm glad that both of us don't suck. This is a really good game. But he said we did not want that game enough. And that is one of the things that you've heard me say in the past 2 years. I am not seeing a hunger with Clemson like we normally saw, in my opinion. We kind of transitioned from the Roy bus. We came in, won 2 national championships. We're getting incredible recruits. Now we're at a place where I believe that Dabo Swinney's having to grow as a coach. He's having to change some of the things within the culture to where we are a premier program. There's no more the world is against us. No, the world's not against you. So I really just want to see if that mindset can change, because that really bothered me that he said we really didn't want that game. I want it enough. I get what he's saying, but I still wouldn't have verbalized that. But if we can be fired up, and we can get especially the play at safety nailed down, I really feel good about this unit. Our wide receiver room is unbelievable. As I said, the running backs, unbelievable. Our tight ends, we're 3 or 4 deep. These guys are fantastic. Our cornerbacks, we have some great cornerbacks. To me, Andrew Booth could easily be our Derek Stingley. If we wanted to put him out and put him at punt return, if we wanted to throw the ball to him, he's that type of player. But we have so much talent. I'm glad to see Justin Ross back. I think any true Clemson fan is just any true college football fan is happy to see him back. So I feel really good, even right down to the kicking team with Spires and Potter. But I just want to see the intensity out of Clemson, because I'm going to tell you, if they come out even semi-flat, Georgia wins. They win by 10 plus. If Clemson comes out, they play solid football. I'll go ahead and give it away because I have to go here in a few. I call Clemson wins by 3 or 4 points, maybe a touchdown.
I think along the same lines as you do. I think the two biggest things I want to see from Clemson, the two biggest questions I have are that offensive line, in particular on the interior, who's going to start at center, and those safeties, man. They got beat like a drum last year in that Ohio State game, and they got beat in some of those other games too. But I've been to some of the practices and I've seen Landon Sanders. He looks like a different dude this year, man. You can tell he's been in the weight room. He's been putting in the work. So we know he's doing that. The question is, does that translate onto the field? We won't know that until they start playing games. But I have big questions about the safeties, like you do, and that offensive line. Outside of that, this Clemson team's deep. They're deep at most every position outside of cornerback. I think they got 6 corners, but there's 6 really good corners. As long as they can keep them healthy, they ought to be in very good shape. I think Andrew Booth's got the potential to be a first-round draft pick next year. He's that good. He's just got to stay healthy. He struggles staying healthy some. If they can keep him healthy, keep him on the field, and those safeties can be serviceable at best, this can be a very, very scary defense with that defensive line you were just talking about.